Okay, let's dive into this terrifying explainer. Today, we're unpacking a modern horror phenomenon that's been absolutely setting the internet on fire. It's this wild story that perfectly blends innocent consumerism with, well, deep, unsettling dread. And the craziest part? It all revolves around something that looks like it should be completely harmless. Right, so imagine buying this cute, trendy collectible, and literally within days, your entire life is completely destroyed. This isn't just some local campfire ghost story. We're looking at widespread global reports of these so-called haunted Labubu dolls. I mean, people all over the internet are sharing these panicked accounts of the toys ruining lives, causing sudden, inexplicable illnesses, and even getting people fired from their jobs. It's created this massive wave of online hysteria. And this brilliantly illustrates the timeline of our case study today. It maps out exactly how incredibly fast a young woman's life spiraled into complete tragedy. We're talking 4 days. In just 4 days, she goes from making a totally normal purchase to a fatal conclusion. It's a rapid, terrifying descent, and we're going to break down exactly what happened at each step. Section 1, the Golden Labubu Doll. Let's rewind a bit and see how this all builds. So our story centers on a young woman named Malin. She was known for being incredibly sweet. Actually, after her dad passed away, she moved from her small village all the way to Shanghai just to support her mom and sister. She lived a pretty quiet life with her beloved dog Bao and worked at a local toy shop. Now, Malin was absolutely obsessed with collecting dolls. And since she worked at the shop, she used her employee discount to buy a limited edition, completely unique golden Labubu doll. It was gorgeous. It had this beautiful golden fur, bright blue eyes, and a really cute, toothy smile. It honestly just seemed like the perfect little reward for all our hard work. Section 2, the dog's warning. Now, what's really interesting about this is how animals often sense evil long before we do. You know how pets pick up on energy shifts that we're completely oblivious to? Well, Malin brought the new golden doll home to show her dog Bao. Normally, Bao loved her toy collection. He'd wag his tail, run around, the whole shebang. But not this time. The absolute second he saw this specific golden Labubu, he was terrified. He started barking loudly, growling at it. The next morning, right before she left for work, Bao literally grabbed Malin's jeans in his teeth, pulling her toward the shelf, desperately trying to warn her. But Malin, well, she just thought he was misbehaving, scolded him, and locked him in the bathroom. And sadly, that decision marked the beginning of a horrific string of bad luck. On day 2, the curse struck her professional life. While she was at the toy shop, this sudden, inexplicable, intense rage just took over Malin. This incredibly sweet, patient girl completely lost her temper, screamed at a customer, and was fired right there on the spot. Just like that, in the blink of an eye, her livelihood, the very money she was using to support her grieving family, was totally gone. Section 3, a night of terror. So the crucial point here is how the curse fully manifests when she is at her absolute most vulnerable, alone in the dark. That night, Moen went to bed in tears, crying over losing her job. As she tried to sleep, she heard this strange, haunting laugh echoing in her pitch-black room, a sound she had never heard before. She peered into the darkness and saw a shadowy figure standing in the corner just staring at her. But when she flipped on the lights, nothing was there, just the golden Labubu doll. She eventually fell into a restless sleep, only to be immediately plunged into a terrifying nightmare. She dreamt of this horrific red monster with rotting flesh, abnormally long, sharp claws, and blood-stained teeth. The creature lunged at her, trying to choke the life out of her, all while laughing that exact same horrible laugh. Notice the stark contrast here to visually emphasize what we're dealing with. On the left, we have the innocent, golden-furred toy with the cute smile and blue eyes that she brought into her home. But on the right, that's the demonic state from her nightmare. The rotting flesh, the blood-stained teeth, the terrifying grin. It is the ultimate deception. The nightmare felt so incredibly real that Malin woke up screaming. But guys, the horror didn't stop when she opened her eyes. The doll, which she had left over on the shelf, was now sitting directly on her chest, grinning at her. Hearing her screams, her brave dog Bao managed to burst into the room. He didn't even hesitate. He grabbed the doll in his teeth and violently tore it to absolute shreds. Malin, exhausted and terrified, threw the pieces in the trash, thinking her little protector had finally ended the nightmare. Section 4, the tragic end. Unfortunately, the next morning proves that destroying the physical object simply wasn't enough to break a curse this powerful. It's now day 3. Melon wakes up in absolute agony. Her head is splitting with pain, and when she looks down, she sees these small, red, bite-like bumps completely covering her face and hands. She calls out for Bao, needing the comfort of her dog, but the house is dead silent. She searches the hall, the living room. He is nowhere to be found. I want you to put yourself in her shoes for a second. What would you do if a destroyed toy miraculously reappeared, perfectly intact, on your bathroom shelf? Because Malin walks into her bathroom to check her face, and in the mirror, she sees the reflection of the red demon standing right behind her, laughing. She whips around, and the demon is gone. But sitting right there on the shelf is the Labubu doll. It's completely restored. But that cute little smile, it has twisted into a horrifying, sinister grin. Panicking, she runs outside to search for Bao. When she comes back in, the doll has moved. It's now sitting by the kitchen sink, and its hands and teeth are stained deep red. Melon looks underneath the sink and makes a heartbreaking discovery. Bao was lying there, dead. His body is brutally scratched and bleeding. The doll was covered in her protector's blood. Realizing she is dealing with a demonic entity, Melon frantically searches the internet and finds out she isn't alone. These hauntings are happening globally. Following some advice she finds online, she takes 3 desperate steps to dispose of the evil. Step 1, she sets the cursed doll on fire. 2, she scoops the ashes into a glass jar. And 3, she runs outside and throws the jar into a nearby river. That night, she calls her younger sister to confess everything, finally believing that she's safe. But she wasn't. The very next morning, Malin is found dead in her home. And the most chilling detail of all, lying right beside her lifeless body is the Labubu doll, perfectly whole once again. And because the true nature of the doll remains hidden to outsiders, an unsuspecting coworker from the toy shop sees the doll, thinks it's cute, and just takes it home. The tragic cycle continues. Section 5, the Demon Pazuzu. Let's move away from Melan's tragedy to see how this builds into a global mythology. Because her story is just one piece of a much larger puzzle. A chilling theory has taken over the internet, claiming that these cursed Labubu dolls are actually a vessel, a second form for an ancient evil demon known as Pazuzu. The panic has become so intense that several countries have reportedly instituted bans on these specific toys. There are even reports of priests having to step in to perform actual exorcisms on them. It has completely moved far beyond a simple urban legend. Section 6, Horror Corn Festival. Now, speaking of horror communities coming together, let's shift gears back to the real world, because we have some incredibly exciting news from the Huni Monday channel. They are bringing back India's biggest horror festival, HorrorCorn. Last year was amazing, but this year, it is going to be a massive 2-day celebration. It's happening on October 25th and 26th at NSAC, Okla, and Delhi. It's going to be packed with your favorite horror storytellers, incredible games, and a massive horror party where you can just hang out, dance, and celebrate everything spooky. You absolutely do not want to miss this. Make sure you check out the pinned comment below this explainer and follow HorrorCorn India on Instagram for all the latest updates and ticket information. Which brings us right back to our explainer today, leaving us with one massive, lingering question. Is the Labubu doll truly cursed by an ancient demon like Pazuzu? Or is this all just a brilliantly terrifying internet rumor that spiraled completely out of control? I really want to know what you think. Drop your theories in the comments below, and let's keep this conversation going. Until next time, stay curious and maybe think twice about that next cute collectible you bring into your home.